Good evening. Welcome back, everyone. Midi time. Anyway, evening, Revenant, Mike Boy, and Nico. Welcome, everyone. We're back, and I was in a Midi mood, I guess. So, for those that follow me, you probably aware that I picked up an MT200 here recently, and I'm pretty excited to give it a test run. So why not? Why not? Why not stream that? I think I mentioned it last week. So, hope everyone doing all right tonight. A lot of games on deck for Midi stuff. We found an all-in-one. I do have one already, which is that Packard Bell. I need to restore that one too. That one will need a full recap, I think, to get into shape. But always more to find, isn't there? You can always go to boring ride and just use an iMac from that era. Then you got your standard all-in-one anyway. But mini modules is a fun topic to discuss, I think. All right, I'll check that out in a bit here. I'm curious. One of those e-machines, my goodness. They're very rare. They're also like one of those things, like it's a collectible item for the sake of being collectible. They're not very good, right? I can only imagine that plastic, but for those that can't see this, of course, watching it later, but there's a picture of one of the e-machines. I think LGR probably has one of those, right? He brought that to VCF Midwest, and he had that set up. They're pretty interesting machines, but, you know, they're so-so. They basically look like an iMac, but they're not. So anyway, Indian Bluebeard, welcome. Talking about MIDI stuff. I think that we have run streams in the back. Goodness, in the past, before, where we used software emulation to do the MIDI stuff, and that works really well. Basically, I had a Surface tablet sitting, Surface computer, laptop, whatever, sitting next to the setup here, and then connecting my real retro hardware to that and running software to emulate all the MIDI stuff, which works really, really well. Of course, we like hardware stuff, so that's what we're doing tonight. And I think I have had it on my list forever to get an actual MIDI module, but it's always one of those, like, the simulation works pretty well. It's always like, I think to get a decent SC55 or an MU50 or an MU80 from Yamaha, or an MT32, you're over $100 in most cases to get a decent one that's in good condition. I'm sure you can find cheaper ones once in a while, but in general, you're spending over $100 to get that. So when a local collector was getting rid, let's go to the camera here. Go to the MIDI cam. The MIDI cam. The MT200. Focus. There we go. The MT200 is a interesting MIDI module directly from Roland, which is more of a music tutor thing more than an actual module in that sense. And I think that this is an SC55. Like, it has the entire instruction set. So this will be a sound canvas. And you can select sound canvas. Union Pixel, welcome. Long time no see, but you do like MIDI. Welcome. The SC55 is like, it seems like the one that people started with the MT32 or the SC55. The SC55 is like what Doom was composed for, or composed on. A lot of those tracks from that mid to late era and the 90s all targeted or focused on the general MIDI standard that the Roland had. So a lot of the stuff was composed for SC55. So it seems like a natural place to start. If you like your Descent, Heretic, Doom, Duke Nukem 3D and stuff, which is some of my favorite games. So it made sense to go with an SC55. In this case here, a local collector was clearing out their stash or their hoard, like we all wish we could do, but never can part with stuff. And he was getting rid of this MT200, and he posted it in our local group, and I'm like, yes, please, because I don't have one. I do not have a physical MIDI device. This is my first one, then. And it's very unique. It's also huge. It's much larger than you would think. I mean, it's like, here's a second ago. Here's a floppy disk for, it's large. The whole face here is a floppy. Yes, it is always on, unfortunately. It actually changes light once you put in the disk. I think so. Yeah, it starts lighting up a little bit that it's actually seeking. Otherwise, it's always on. And the display is also interesting. It is not... I'll move the camera so you can see it a little bit too. But the display itself is not... It's not giving you a dancing thing like it would on the SC55. So it doesn't have that going for it. The idea behind this design, or this, best I could tell, is that it was made to be a recording device. it was meant that to plug into a piano or electric piano or a keyboard or whatever and record to floppy on the fly. That's what it was designed for. And then you can take that to your composing software and then edit that track afterwards. And you have multiple track buttons here to select. You can count in as a metronome. There's a little flap underneath here for more controls around that stuff. And markers. That's the design of it. That's the main purpose of this device was that. But they crammed in the entire SC55 instruction set on there too, which is what lets us use it in Midi device, which is how we have it hooked up now. Evening, Brett. Yes, you mentioned that, Mike Boy. I didn't get a chance to mess with that. I would like to get that set up. I was thinking of getting that set up on the stream here so that it would dance around on the bottom here. I didn't get a chance to or have time to mess around with it. But I think I've done similar things using the MIDI player software on my tablet or my laptop to cast that or into the stream. I think we've done that before. So it's a similar principle because, yeah, once you plug this into a computer and everything, it is a MIDI device. DOS, Windows, and everything detect this as an external MIDI device, and you can use it accordingly. So we're going to focus mostly on DOS tonight because that was the thing. It's Doscember, so why not? We may hop into Windows 95 as well and be a little daredevil. So, I don't get it. There's no Maxicam. I am the Maxicam right here. So the things that are, yes, very much like an answering machine because the entire front is like that and it goes pretty deep back too. It's a very hefty device and it's not one you could just kind of slide into a rack. I think it's meant to sit next to or on top of a keyboard. It even has a specific keyboard MIDI in that only picks up the keyboard music notes and everything. So you can actually use it for that purpose. And I think there's even a cut down version of this very same model that only has the keyboard in, again, showing what it was designed for. The MIDI thing, I think, is more of like, it just kind of came included. But from our perspective, for retro gaming and whatnot, let me see. Talk, please. It is a sound canvas. And that's what makes it real neat from our perspective. Now, however, we can also do a few things like, so the floppy, this is actually a demo floppy that came from Roland. What we can do is actually select this and hit play. And now we're playing MIDI. And you can tell the volume here changes based on the volume sliders. You can tell it's using this device. So these are demo tracks provided by Roland that you got with this device. The person I got it from, this is the floppy they had, which had the demo on it. And something would have come with it, so... there's that part. My wife she is a musician. She can compose and stuff. She just made several songs or tracks for me. But she has messed with MIDI keyboard. She has one. She used to do music tracks via MIDI on her computer, on her Gateway 2000 back in the day. So maybe one day I can get her to compose something in MIDI for me. But this device, or this floppy, has a ton of different tracks on it. And some of them are really cool. They're random jazz songs. And, you know, Evening Foil, welcome. Different tracks that play to the strengths of the device. And of course, you can play these MIDI files directly on a computer too, but this is neat because in theory, we could do this without having anything hooked up as a computer, because what you could do then, you use it as a jukebox, plug in speakers to it, and bam, you're playing, you know, as a MIDI jukebox. And I want to show, these are of course the ones that are designed for this, and I want to show here in a second too. I have a floppy with some different tracks on it, which all are interesting. Some of them are really, really good. Yes, we'll play that tonight as well, because Transport Tycoon's got a very much like big band jazz style music to it. And that leans into, to me, the sound canvas or the SC55, like the strengths to it. This is the kind of idea that it's made for, right? And it's a neat feature. Now, you don't get as many like MIDI computer controls as you would. It's designed around this whole like idea that you record to the floppy and you can, you know, that. But for our purposes, it works as a MIDI jukebox, which is pretty awesome, honestly. That's true. I do really need a real set of Roland speakers here. I don't have that. What you're listening to now is I have the mixer board. This is what you see up here, right? That's my fairly complex mixer board. And I thought I'm going to pipe a whole bunch of different things in there. What I ended up doing is that the phono out on this, which is the headphones out, basically goes to the line-in on the computer that we're playing on, which is the P166. And then that's outputting back and being captured. So it is looping around more than it needs to, but it works. So, evening, Doppler. You know, I think it just does it once when it reads it, because the only time I hear it seeking is when you go to a track select, and you go to new track now. You can see the floppy light up here as I switch the track on the device. That is the only time I hear the floppy seeking. Otherwise, I don't. I don't see that light blinking either. So, there's a track on here that I just love. Find it because it is the most 90s like orchestral thing you can imagine. But the LCD is not great, and I gotta like lean over to see it better, especially in this light. Find it. There's like 30 tracks on here on this particular demo one. Holy Night, Sonata number 8, Morning. There we go. This is the GS All-Star. It plays into the whole suite of like MIDI stuff to me. This is like quintessential 90s MIDI. The applause and everything. It feels like it fits in with, you know, Passport and Canyon like directly, right? Now, those speakers don't show up very often, so what you're seeing here, of course, is that 2.1 kind of like Boston speakers, right, that almost everyone had from the 90s, or some variety. Some kind of include 2.1 system. But, so to kind of, what's happening here now is that there's a MIDI track, right, directly on the floppy, and the sequencer, or the MIDI sequencer, is replaying that exactly, using its own internal instruction set. So, which, you don't need a computer to do this, but yeah, it sounds really, really good, and I'm really excited to actually have a sound canvas in my stable here for streaming and everything. Now the problem I have is that it's huge. Like let me pan the camera back and you'll see. So that's the size of it there. It's very large and it takes a lot of space on the desk, so I gotta figure something out. I might figure out a way to like put it on a shelf back here or something. Because right now it is a little cumbersome to fit it. It is, yeah, that's a fair point. It does have a similar design to the MT32 with that sloped side or the front. But again, it is massive. It's really large. I wasn't expecting that, so I got to recalibrate my setup. But it sounds this good. Does it really matter? So this is playing to the strength of this device, right? It's composed for it. I have a floppy here that has songs that are not designed for this. Some of them actually error out, but some of them do play, and I want to show something specifically, which is a little interesting. I don't know, I just love this track. It is the most, like, MIDI 90s orchestra thing you can imagine. And again, to prove it, like, we're playing on this device, so I can turn on the volume, and it goes quiet, right? So, actually, it's over now. There's no, like, eject or anything, so you stop it, and you just push the eject button, and it spits it out, and then now it basically says new song on a display, and you can program how you're going to record it. So yeah, this is the demo floppy. Let's see if this one works. This is the one. We'll find out. Yeah, so here's Canyon. You all heard it, but it's playing directly on here. I just copied it from this computer. This rendition of Canyon, not Mid, you probably heard 100 times, because it's one of the first ones to me you try when you have MIDI stuff on a Windows 95 PC. Yeah, it's a fair point, Doppler. It's like a lot of the music was MIDI-based around that time. And you can see that in a lot of games here. That's why so many of these games support general MIDI. I just compiled a list of games tonight we're going to try out. But if you actually look at the amount of games that support external MIDI from the DOS era, it's insane. There's so much stuff. But that's Canyon. We heard that 100 times. I want to show what we have on here. This I tried to find, there's a vampire killer, or sorry, the Castlevania for the Sharp X68000, right? And it's got amazing MIDI stuff. I don't have one on hand. I didn't set up the Mister to do this yet. And this particular track set was designed for the MT32. So now we're going to hear what happens when the MT32 instruction set is being played against this general MIDI on this SC55. You may not like what you're going to hear, but it's hilarious. I just imagine Simon Belmont hopping around playing an oboe or something. So it has no MT32 mode. I know that some of the later, or some of the Roland devices, the newer one, can emulate an MT32 to some degree. This does not have that at all. So it's basically trying to interpret the MT32 instructions onto the SC55, and it's not sounding pretty. This is not what it should sound like. And up. Alright, that's probably enough of that. However... yeah, here we go. See if anyone recognizes it. Not quite. It starts very similar, doesn't it? Afterburner. Right. This has an amazing sound on this device. It sounds fantastic. I can't get over it, but yeah. Like you're mentioning, Mike Boy, it's a great device to mess around with for all these like DOS games from this era, because so many of them support external MIDI. Eating Bruce Lee, welcome. We just took to the sky in our 14 Tomcat here on Afterburner. But here, like, if it's designed for it, it can sound truly amazing. And as we heard earlier here, if it's not designed correctly, then it sounds terrible. And the actual sound is more up to taste, right? Because some of the Yamaha devices sound really good too. I would like to get an MU50 or an MU80 at some point. Because now, what happened now, as soon as I got that plugged in to mess with it, then I got the MIDI bug now. I really want the MT32. Oop, I saw a C count here. I want the MU50 or the MU80 as well for the Yamaha stuff. I would like to make a little MIDI mount in here. But I have a feeling that once you have an MT32 and one of the Yamaha devices and then a sound canvas of some variety or this, you're pretty set for the vast majority of MIDI music, I would say. Now, there are more tracks on this one here. Unfortunately, it errors out if you go to the next one because I think it can't read it. I cannot play this data format. One of them is broken here. So I can actually pop it into the... take a look and see which one is that it's broken. And that's what I'm afraid too. I'd like to have it as an option, right? Because some games sound really good with the Yamaha stuff. Some sound very good with the XG stuff. And some sound, fantastic with just the sound canvas. And it's really difficult to do this. So I think that... I'm not sure which one is the problem. But you saw I put a whole bunch of different tracks on here. One of them is broken. So... question is which. I can play all these from Windows as well. But I'm not sure which one it is. So I think it's probably pulling an AFT55 after, I would assume. Because it is probably going in the order they were copied on there. So they'll AFT55, which is a bummer because that one is one of the afterburners. So this is the AST166 because that's the one I use primarily for this kind of stuff. It has the AW64 in here. And then, of course, that's piping out. So let's see now if it is able to read past. Oh, I think it's that file that's the problem. Dell MT 32. I'm going to try this a couple times because I wanted to just give a sample of the other tracks on here too. AFT, and we can also go into Windows to do this, but yeah, it's not liking it. That doesn't matter. We can do that in Windows, but maybe we should try and play some games actually, because that's what we're here for. But some of these tracks, what you have here is like Mega Man renditions. There's one for I have them on. We can do them in Windows. Airwolf, things like that. Some of them sound really good, but those are fan-made remixes, right? So some of them sound fantastic. Some of them are like, because the ones that are designed for the this standard or this particular one, right, is the ones that sound the best. It could be, yeah, and it doesn't like it, and I'm sure that if I took time to format the files or did something with it, I just kind of threw them on to try, and some of them work, some of them don't. But of course, inside of Windows itself, we can pipe it out to that and actually play them as well from directly from Windows. We'll do that in a bit here. Some of them sound really, really good. Some of them sound terrible. But a lot of those games are like, fan-made. Or not the games, but the musical renditions are fan-made, so they may not have been designed with this device in mind, and that's where it falters. But maybe we should hit up a couple of the classics first. I did load up a ton of games here now. When I checked them off on my list, I know that I have them. But we can go to like Descent 1, right? Go to Setup. So I do have soft mole running because it's needed for the redirect into General Midi for here. But if we test this now, that's of course running directly on here. As we can see with the volume here, I'm changing it up, down. And the sad part here now is you don't get the blinky lights coolness that you get with the SC55 or the SC88. So, but now I think that Descent in general was probably leans more into the Yamaha side, it seems like. It sounds really good on the Yamaha devices, if I remember right. Not like this sounds bad, but... because some of them are, again, depends on what it was designed for, so... And that's the thing. Once you're doing it in modern today, there's not a lot of, like, incentive to rely on real stuff like this. Because a lot of the emulators and stuff like that, they can just drop whatever music files you want in. For example, like, when you have one of the source ports for Doom or one of the, like, ET Boom or PR Boom or whatever. Some of those, right, you can just drop the files that you want directly in a folder and it plays them during playback, and they're usually perfect rips of this kind of stuff, right? People have recorded them and dropped them as OGG files or whatever. So it's more like the neatness, or especially messing around with original hardware, of course. So and I think in some cases it loses sync too. I get to look at that because sometimes it runs great and then sometimes it just like drops out. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do eventually as well, because it seems like a no-brainer to have that in the list here, especially for plugging into the Mister and stuff. Nope. There we go. But it adds a different layer to a game like this, right? That you're so used to hearing the kind of like, typical Sound Blaster 16, Pro, whatever it is you played on, especially on like some, home budget card. This is a hard game to focus in at the same time as talking. I'm not gonna play Descent too long, but I figured we should start with something that's well known and a big hitter, because everyone liked Descent. The music usually sounds they really just added a ton of different audio support in this game. And then the Ascent 2 has support for like a boatload of stuff. I mean, they have 3D effects, and of course we stream that, but that's the thing. It's fun to replay because it's not the same nostalgia. I will give it that. It's not exactly the same nostalgia because to me, a lot of that blaring sound is kind of like what I remember, and it's a new experience because it sounds very different, right? As far as the smoothness goes, yeah, my favorite, and I mentioned it before, like we're playing on tonight, it's a Pentium 166 MMX, and the Pentium 166 or 200 or 233, I think, to me, at least for what I use the DOS machine for, it's the perfect DOS machine for me because it lets you play all these later DOS games completely fluid. They run great. I mean, yeah, you can even crank it up to 640 or 480 and have a slower experience, but it will run. You know, but it runs really well on a lot of these heavier DOS games, the later ones. Nope, just keyboard. I don't have Wingman hooked up now, but although I do have several sitting here, but yeah, I would like to do that with the Mister. To set up just the MT32 Pi solution because that gives you so much of what you might need there, especially for using it for something like the Mister. You can have that there hooked up to it all the time, but it does work on real hardware too, of course. Yeah, but it completely changes the gameplay experience. Having that kind of music, you could use that for a while, but it's just funny how many of these games from this era supported external MIDI devices, because it makes you think about it. It's like there's plenty of musicians out there, of course. And I think the reason I understood is, like, maybe I'm generalizing, but if I understood it right, and the fact that we get a lot of these from Japan, a lot of people ordered them, the different MIDI modules, because they were used for karaoke bars and stuff like that too, and of course just music composing. But then, why did so many game developers add support for them? That's what I don't quite understand, because was the market there for it? Was it just like, we can do it, or we composed for these? Because I think a lot of time they probably composed for these MIDI devices and then, you know, down-ported it to fit on whatever sound card, right? Like, again, Bobby Prince recorded everything for Doom on the SC55, and that's where that comes from. So it is the true sound that the artist had in mind, so there's that part, but like, so many games support external MIDI devices. Blood Vulcan Cannon. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like what you're saying there, Pixel. It's like, I knew no one who had a MIDI device at all. So it must have been just like kind of an industry backing thing going on or something. Oh, shaky. Out of my way. All right. And that was, we're dealing with general MIDI, right? Which wasn't necessarily a standard yet. If I remember right, the first SC55, for example, the first generation of it does not have the general MIDI module or logo on it. And this one doesn't have the general MIDI logo on it either, so... because that became a standard later, of course, but then they all have their own kind of unique sound, which is kind of, I feel like, again, MT32 and a Yamaha device and this. Then, of course, they have all the Dream Blaster and, like, plug-in cards and the XG and all that stuff, right, too, but I feel like probably, excuse me, will cover you very well. Yeah. That's that, of course. So let's go with another big hitter. We're going to have to try out some Duke, of course, because it's Duke 3D. We'll go to a little bit less obscure or more obscure ones, but I feel we got to hit some of the big hitters here first that are very, very good with General Midi, and above all, the SE55 equivalent here. 5200. That sounds so good. It's just, it's a whole other experience, really. Again, for me, Duke music is ingrained in my brain to be, you know, the blaring ad-lib sound, right? That's what I grew up with. But you can tell, I'm pretty sure this track was also Bobby Prince, right? And it was made with the SE55, like literally. So this is how they recorded it. It's fancy retro. Should have a monocle. And it's just, you know, it goes to show that I understand why people get multiple MIDI modules, because if you have a game that was designed with it in mind, yes, it can sound very good. But if you get the device they targeted, it makes a huge difference, so. Yeah, that I could see. If I do get an MT32 at some point, or an emulator going, we'll definitely revisit or do a stream with that kind of stuff. Yeah, we're always playing first.
Yeah, piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum. Come get some.
Come get some. Again, that's where a fast... Yeah, listen to that. It sounds almost out of place, or like some kind of remaster, because the music is so much higher quality than the the standard Sound Blaster sound. It's such a difference. Yeah, bigger gun. Big guns, lots of guns. I haven't played this. Shotgun.
Come get some.
Come get some. Duke hates fine China. It changes the whole experience, and it is fun to revisit. The same way, you know, getting a computer upgrade or something was cool too. That's just normal. Sorry, babes. Sorry, babes. Couldn't save you all, or any of you. I hated those things as a kid because the sound is so obnoxious. So obnoxious. Woo. And we're gonna play Duke too long because it's neat to hear it, but we've all seen Anyway, died.
Pisses me off.
Really pisses me off. Are we gonna hear the sound again? You know, good question. I'm not sure. They seem like they were sampled in too low quality or something. It seems like it defaulted back to... Oh, still... Seems like the instructions get messed up partway or something. It's interesting. Because now they sound much flatter. Yeah, so if we go back, because it did it there, it feels like it gets like a wonky after a while. I wonder if something with the device, but... Go back into it again. Oh, okay, yeah. Because I assume once... Yeah, once it gets off, it's out of sync, right, basically? And it's lost synchronization, so... That's what it's supposed to sound like, yeah. And it could be that I don't have the right... I don't know. Maybe not connected correctly, or... It's just very sensitive to changes like that. But as far as like sound effects, one thing that always bothered me, like how like in Half-Life everything sounds crunchy. It feels like everything is clipping when they recorded it and then mastered it. All the sound effects, all the you know, gunshots, all the stuff, always feels like just like it's really crunchy or clipping. Okay, so you know, I'm not sure if it does. I don't think so, but it would be something that would happen, right? Again, if it gets off and it's not getting the right signal, then it's just going to go wonky. So let's see. We have a whole bunch of different games here. Dropped a whole bunch. One I haven't tried yet, which I really want to hear, actually, is Desert. But I probably need more memory for this to run. And CD in. Which it's Desert Strike, Return to the Gulf. That game I've really only played on SNES and Genesis. We try. I think any more memory probably. Oh, it launched. Okay. I haven't tried this one yet. It is not Midi yet, anyway. Basically. Are there any options? Okay. This is one of those that just drops you right into the... Okay, configure, there we go. Sound, on, off. Game options. Sound card, there we go. Down canvas. Gonna freeze. Trying to detect it. That's the problem. It feels like in the ones where it lets you configure it and decide that it's port 330, the ones that seem to auto-detect it doesn't seem to find this. It just kind of crashes. I think it's trying to look for it and it's unable to do so. So if I could configure it, that would be fine. But it seems like anytime you try and auto-detect the location of the device, then it just crashes. So that's a hard reboot. First one of the night. And it's funny how, when you think back to this era, how common that was. Like, pretty much everything you did was just like, yep, get a reboot, crashed, reboot, like everything. So, that's par for the course. So we'll see. I'm curious to test it, but if we can't set the address manually, that's going to be a problem. It's going to hang. And yeah, like I mentioned, it seems to me, every time I tried to auto-detect or find the MIDI, it just crashes every time. So 9 times out of 10, you're allowed to, or at least you can, select the port, and then you're fine. But in my case here, you're not allowed to. Or in this particular application, you couldn't. So we'll see if that's going to be a no-go in that case. But let's see. I got to run soft first, soft mul. for soft MPU, which is the redirect. Blasters should be already set, but yeah, you can see Sound Blasters detected. It's got everything connected on 330. And it should be set. Yeah, that blaster 30. Which, it's a good point, Mike, because it would be something that applications look for to detect it, so. Is there any configuration here? Is this desert.dat and desert LFF? I can try it without it anyway. I thought it was needed to redirect it for letting it find itself. I did have enough memory. I just did the same boot earlier. Problem is that it needs the CD, which is a problem then, because I can't even launch the game. .543, I need 544. So, I guess we're not going to try that. Let's try it again without soft MPU then. It's always the thing when you get into something you messed with before, and I did need to run that anytime I had the Midi software running on the laptop, so I had assumed I needed that for all the redirects on the card so it finds it, so I guess we'll find out if I don't run it. Got a little more memory too. But it's just funny, you think back to how often you had to reboot your computer. It was just all the flipping time. See how much memory I have now before I run MPU. There we go. So we have memory now. Games, CD Desert. Yeah. Unskippable cutscene intros. Always a winner. That's a fair point, Doppler. I'm not sure if there ever has been a Midi virus, but you think about it, people were sharing floppies left and right with that kind of stuff. It probably was something that corrupted it. Or someone with nefarious intent. It's definitely using Midi right now. Yeah. If I can't configure it, that's a problem, because I think it's going to basically crash every time. Yeah. It seems like it just can't detect it, and that might just be a fact of the MT200. It might be that the ST55 would be detected, but this one doesn't have... I mean, it's not a one-to-one, right? So, I was trying to do that with the question mark, and it just crashed, so there's no README file either. Take a look at the CD. This is a copy of the real game. But yeah, here we are. Hard reboot again. So every single time in any game I mess with, when you try to do an auto detect, it crashes. Every time. So I have to assume it's basically sending a signal to detect it. And I'm guessing that this particular device doesn't have that signal to return it, or something like that. Oh, I'm a MIDI expert, but it sounds legit to me anyway. Yeah, I mean, you have to do something in the software, right, to tell it to use MIDI, and the problem is that in most configuration, that's a fair point. I could remove that, because it's not like I use it, or disable all of it. Because, I mean, once you configure it, games seem to work just fine, so... Nope, rolling sound cards, so... There's a lot of stuff on the disk here. Desert.exe, I could run record from jungle install. You would think so, but alas, it is not, so... No readme here, but yeah, it may not be worth messing with this. Yeah, it just has desert bat, so what is... Goody! Desert HD. So I'm sure there are more flip switches then. Oh, it runs it from the hard drive. From the disk. So here... You can run it directly from CD. You sure can. I heard it spitting out. So it's auto-detecting. Blaster must be working because it finds the sound blaster settings, right? So, well, that's the idea. It should be looking for the sound cameras, right? Since there's only one option to select, you can't do anything else. Do you think it's looking for a specific Roland card? Because, yeah, I mean, it uses the blaster setting to find it here now. But usually, it feels like in most configurations from this era, you would have more options to mess with it, so. What do we turn off sound? And then switch it. Nope. We can go into the BIOS and disable everything, because it's not like I use printer ports or serial ports on this computer, so I can just go ahead and disable them to reduce the risk of... we had that problem when we messed with the if you remember, the Toshiba laptop, we messed with that. You remember that when we had a whole bunch of stuff with that, and we had to disable everything in the BIOS to make it find it, so... I might be a Doppler. I guess I'm a little confused, so... I mean, we're just pointing it to port 330 out from the Sound Blaster card, right? Yeah, lots of settings in here. Peripheral configuration. Let's see. I cannot... Let's see. Enter, select. Can I not disable it here? Wow. I guess we're not doing that. Neat. We're not disabling it. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I'm very smart. Okay, so we need a PCI ID. Disabled. 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 Okay. We freed up all the resources from that. Exit saving changes. This is a very, like, you never know how the BIOS is going to go, and this is clearly one that AST used for themselves, so... Nope, I plug it into the existing Sound Blaster MIDI port. I do not have an actual standard interface card, so... That's what I thought that the soft MPU did, was that it let it detect it and know that I should be using that for detection, so... That's the way I understood it. But if we do that, we don't have a memory, so we can't run that game with that. Pretty sure 5. You should see it here, and it pops up, I think, in the auto discover. Create a plug and play configuration. There you go. 220. You can see in the middle of the screen there. 220, 5, 330 for the MIDI port. So that's pretty much it. And that's what I thought with the soft MPU, since we don't have an actual MPU card. If it's trying to use the MPU to detect it, that it's just telling the MIDI's, the application or software where they should look for the MPU port if it's auto-detecting it. So I thought that was needed for that, but even if it did, we don't have enough memory to run it, so we have to mess with other stuff in that case. But we can try it again now. Desert. And it finds the Sound Blaster card just fine, right? So we know that works. Okay. It's hard to know if it's something to do with this particular device, right? Maybe if I had another MIDI device to test, I could know that it would work, but I don't have any other ones. I could plug in my external device, but that's, or the laptop, that would be a lot of hassle right now. And the music sounds good here too, but... Oh, crash. Hard crash every time. So, I guess Desert Strike's not happening tonight anyway. Again, who knows what it could be. But there isn't much else to decide or mess with here. You'd think that it would just know to check port 330, but literally every single time I tried to do, like I go into Descent 2 and I'm trying to do an auto detect on the MIDI, it crashes. But if you set the port 330 directly, then you're fine. In this case, if we knew the config switch to run the game in 330, it wouldn't be a problem, but in this case here, we cannot. And yes, I'm using the time-honored tradition of turning on and off the tower by using my big toe to hit the power button. So, I don't have Monkey Island on here, and that's more of an MT32 game, more than the Sound Canvas, I think. We're looking at later games. We can play something else now that's not a big hitter, if you will, so... We'll do a Rise to Try It on here as well. I have one other one in mind that we're going to run first once this is going here. And that's going to be a Raptor Call of the Shadows. Games. Let's see, we put it on here. It's Raptor. Should be already set up. Yo, rap. It might be. That's the question, right? And then this definitely works, because I can turn it down. So loud. I can turn this down, and I can control this here. And this configuration had options for you could select the actual port, in this case 330, and you're fine. It worked fine, so. Yeah, Resto tried. We'll play that tonight too. It was fantastic, so. Yeah, and I actually have a line on getting an actual MPU 401 card. I actually have a friend not too far away from here that he ordered parts to build a couple of MPU 401 cards. It's one of those, like, you know, people have designed a new replacement. And he ordered all the parts. I haven't gotten in touch with him to meet up to get it yet, so... but when I do that, I'll probably plop that in here, and that way you don't have to use the MIDI out port or the game port anymore for that, and I assume that's going to work better in many scenarios, so... That's true. Yep, I'm going to mess with that eventually here, too. Of course, we have the great MIDI sound now here again. Midge. I am terrible at this game, so yeah. Because I would definitely like to mess with the Pico Gus, because that is just like, again, I'm never buying a Gravis ultrasound unless I just happen to find one in the wild for nothing, you know. Can't possibly justify the price for it. I should really play more of this. I love shmups, shoot 'em ups. And I haven't played much of this one, honestly. As much as everyone raves about it, I'm sure everyone's played the shareware version to death. I never did. But it's really cool to see a game like this on DOS, you know? Blow everything up. It's a lot of great options for graphics. Oh, that's right. That's huge black bars on the sides. Missiles. Oh, we're up. Whoop, whoop. Give me the monies. That is like, you know, it's really cool to explore games you haven't played much, but the best part about having something new like this, the same way getting a new computer, right, is playing the stuff you already knew and seeing the improvements. Interestingly enough, I've been enjoying that, actually, because we got an Xbox Series X for Black Friday when they were on sale. So, you know, I have thought about doing a stream on that, but I've done a lot of Xbox streams, but it would be fun to play the backward compatible games on there. I've been having fun playing, like, the 360 era games on there, right, that now run in the 4K 60, which they definitely did not on the 360. So it's a fun way to explore that stuff. And also the Xbox 16 we did not have, so as far as the modern consoles. But, point being, it's a fun way to see the games you already knew, right, and running much faster, much better. I've actually started playing through Halo 4, and I never did play that back in the day. I'm playing that now through the Master Chief Collection on the Series X, which has its own faults and problems, I know, but it's still a really cool experience, so. Going back to, yeah, I played Crackdown 1, which I played a lot on the 360. That runs like butter on the X series or Series X. It certainly never ran like butter on the 360. But yeah, it's that feeling of like, oh, I recognize this or remember how it looked. Like, you know, the first time you, when you got maybe your second computer upgrading from your first one. All of a sudden, the world opened up with much faster options. Louis. Yeah, I haven't played through Halo 4, and I just got the hankering for it. I know the campaign is only about 8 hours. I figured it was a good bite-sized thing to play through. Because, like, I'd like to play... I have played Halo 1, 2, and 3 against I actually have beaten. Something to be said for me. Gotta buy some... We have energy, right? There we go. 10,000. Damage indicator. Mega bomb. Yeah, that's the thing too. I'd like to get to 5 too. I did pick up that. So that's the thing too. Getting another system now. I like buying used games as well. You go to the random, like, you know, mom and pop shops around town, and they sell often like PS4 and Xbox One games for like $5 to $10, if not less sometimes. It's fun to collect for that and like kind of build up your collection of that kind of game, even though everything's on Game Pass almost. So I would like to really explore the campaign and beat the game. So I don't have any more money now because I filled up my energy. Fly mission. So I'm gonna show my ignorance here now. When you do this, is it just the same level every time, or is it just next level in the Bravo sector, or is it the 3 different sectors different? So you go to Bravo sector into stage 2 there, right? Yep. Switch. Oh, it disappeared. Okay. Have to do it in the outer order. Oh, like this and launch it? I must have done that wrong. It shows my ignorance of this game. I really should play it more, because, I mean, it is just right up my alley. A leveling system or getting money to upgrade your ship in between levels. Pretty forward thinking for this era. You know, not to mention the smooth scrolling too is pretty nice. That's not always a given for DOS games, but again, the music sounds really good. Blow up the buildings. Whoop. What I really want is a spread gun. I'm not sure if you get one in this game or not, but it feels like there would be a huge benefit to a spread gun here. focusing here now, but that's the thing too. It's like you explore these games, and I think that most people who play this probably listen to the Soundmaster sound, but I'm still like a little flabbergasted, like, who had all these MIDI modules? And why were they all... Was it just that the developers had them for testing? And they just wanted to use them, like, to make the game sound as good as it could? I mean, it's fair. It's basically the premium design. How many people were playing general MIDI music in games and DOS back in the day? Because it must have been an expensive proposition. And again, not like musicians may have... There's some overlap, I'm sure. They would have sought out... Oh, interesting. I have a lot of missiles. I'm firing them. And this and Tyrion both have similar vibes, of course, so... Bluey. It feels like an Amiga game, except on steroids, right? Because the Amiga certainly can do these kind of games, but they tended not to be, I don't know, maybe not as smooth or sharp looking, I guess. Maybe I'm generalizing now, but that's something we should explore too at some point, because I mean, a lot of other platforms have MIDI support too. We know the, you can do a lot of that on the MiSTer, not just the PC, the MIDI devices. Of course, the Amiga and the Atari both were... Mostly the Atari, I guess. The Atari ST was big on the MIDI. That was a musician's kind of computer. Also, kind of like one of the purposes, because they had a dedicated MIDI port on there. Now, boom. I don't know. I don't know if there's any acceleration in any of these here. Buy some health. Mega bomb. Face shield. That's expensive. Plasma cannon. We'll buy a plasma cannon. I just want to see what that does. Ooh, nice. Now we're getting some more firepower. It's that whole thing of the slow progression. And it's a choice, because some games then would do pickups in the game, which at this point doesn't look like you get that many weapons in the level versus some other shooters, like, you know, your Radius or R-Type or whatever. Kind of balance what you pick up and risk here to get the money. Anyway, I think that's probably enough of this. We don't have to play this over and over, but I feel like I should sit down and play this by myself and just enjoy it. Well, that's the thing too, right? That was the challenge with a lot of the games for DOS from this era. And the reason why there was, like, you know, until you got your Commander Keys and stuff to get smooth scrolling going, because the consoles had that kind of design around them and it was built into it, you know? Versus on PC, you didn't get that for free, which is why it took so long to get smooth scrolling, I assume, right? So, fantastic. All right, I think I do have... Going to Rise of Triad here and set that up. Right, let's see, where's our bigger sounds? Has its own configuration utility. Sound effects should be Sound Blaster. No, it ought to be 32 because we got that such coolness. Full power. 16-bit mixing. Sound canvas. Yes, please. 330. There it is. Funny because the device shows checksum error because, yeah, it's probably being sent the wrong instructions, so. I think that, you know, not until we got newer computers or later computers we can get that kind of smoothness. Like, yes, there was smooth scrolling before, but it's like it required some level of brute force, so. Save and run rot. Height of gaming excitement. Pinnacle gaming excitement. So yeah, some pretty fun trickery to make that stuff work, where in a lot of consoles, you know, they had that design around them. They could just implement smooth scrolling very easily. Wanton and Buddhist destruction. Yeah, we're gonna get the music. There it is. Yeah, great music. It's funny because for me, I think of Civ 11 now, you know. He's shooting me. What an interesting game. That's really good. Apparently, yeah. It's interesting that this was like, you know, kind of like a Wolfenstein 3D idea on crack, right? Versus like, you know, Doom came out and just kind of revolutionized the whole. By then, the idea of the Wolf 3D was just kind of outdated. The design is kind of limited, right? Versus then Doom lets you do a lot more complex stuff. Yeah, the music is great. It's got this ridiculousness to it, right? The bass player needs to chill out a little bit. It's just like a freaking like 5 different rocket launchers in this game or something ridiculous. Whoops. Ah. You can go up and down, but you can't overlap, right? That's one of the things that... Well, I guess the Doom engine can't do that either, but... Some health around here. Oh. I did. Back to the beginning. I could never figure out what this was supposed to be. Like, I think I played the share version back when I was a kid. Like, what are they trying? It's like this weird environment. Everything's just kind of weird and wonky. Especially after playing like Doom, that was so serious, you know. Ding, like that. Ooh. They did what they could with this kind of engine, but it certainly has its limitations, so. Oh, thank you. You get a bazooka. Wow. Oh. And all the jumping things and yeah, an amazing music, just weird. Weird game. Been several attempts to reboot this, right? They made a reboot in like 2013 or something that it's got everything. Literally everything. Yeah, the music is glorious. It was again so over the top. Please porridge. Please. I don't remember any jumping platforms in Doom, so I guess this one's got, you know, got that going. Monk meal. They're like Nazi-esque guys, I guess. There we go. They probably didn't feel like it was, like, relevant to what they were trying to do, right? Oh. I just remember watching, or not even watching, but just like testing the shareware, like seeing this game in action and stuff. It just, again, the silliness of the jumping around is just hilarious, but that was very bad. Forget it. Unless there was a guy shooting at me right there. Ah. There we go. Got there. They had a lot of fun composing this too, because I mean, that's right, they can play dead too. Yeah, alright, beat the first level. Huh. If you ever watch Civi 11's videos, this is how all of them end. I think with this exact rendition even, right? Or is it a remix? That's why this, like... Not that he has a, you know... So just type that straight during gameplay. I thought I typed Chojin. So it's C-O-C-H-O-J-I-N. Did that. Of course, you have to type the slash too. Messed that up. Chico's enabled. Woundless with weapons. Okay. Oh, and jukebox. There you go. Ah, yes. There it is. Yeah, it's got some really good tracks. It just... Again, that's where I feel like one of these Sun Canvas or, you know, one of the Yamaha devices or whatever that supports General MIDI from this era is a great addition. Because, yeah, the MT32 is amazing, but it's clearly more focused on late 90s and point-click adventure games, that kind of stuff. It feels like they let loose here a little bit. I mean, the Doom soundtrack is amazing, but it's very much like a dark, and like a lot of it is very moody. This one is much more whimsical and like whatever. I mean, it sounds great on this device, so... Again, to prove that, you know, I can turn down the volume on it, so we know it's using it. You need help? Welcome. Yeah, exactly. That's why I mentioned before again, I mentioned earlier in the stream too, the P166 or the 200 are some of my favorite, like, retro computers. Basing a machine around that gives you such flexibility, because, yeah, you can set multipliers and mess with those so much. I stopped for the 166, of course, because that's what I have here, but I would have gone with a 200 if I could find an overdrive for it. In this case here, it's just a 166. I wanted to use an overdrive processor just for the sake of it. But it's so flexible, and it gives you so many options on what you can do. I mean, this sounds great. It's like... Feels like they were able to let loose a little more versus with the Doom soundtrack, which is, again, very heavy, brooding, and that's the point of it, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, for sure. I think it's easier to find a good late Pentium machine than this to mess with the K63 Plus. Those are also very flexible processors, but I feel like finding even just buying the processor straight up is pretty cheap. But if you build a machine around a P166 or 200, or even 233, then you have so many options of what you can do. A little bit of a Amiga vibe to it there, almost, the mod tracker. I think that, let's go to the MIDI cam. I think that the beat button here does line up, doesn't it? Or is it just... Yeah. Where is it? They have so much fun with the soundtrack, you can tell. It's very fast-paced, very fun. And this is where this kind of device is just amazing, because, you know, all these games sound really great. But here, it sounds really good. Yeah, we're not going to go through all of them today, but... yeah, probably. Or it could just be a default beat, too, that's intended for you to record, right? Because right now, it's not in a... The device doesn't change, or at least visually, into... Because right now, it's not blinking to the beats, I can tell, so yeah. I can't do next page here, but it might just be the version of... that I have, so... But yeah, we won't spend too much more time in here, but it is... You're right. I'm very smart with this game. Oh my goodness. This is Rise of the Triad. It has a very, very big MIDI soundtrack, apparently. It was a great choice for testing different games, or testing different stuff. Yeah. That's, you know... I appreciate the music that has gone into games now. Like, AAA games, etc., whatever, they can have amazing orchestral scores, and just what they can do, but I always feel like, you know, I have a soft spot for the older music because with limitation grows, kind of allows some creativity. It's like, that said, I mean, not that I usually sit down and just randomly listen to chiptunes or whatever, but you think to what people had to do with what they had. In this case here now, of course, MIDI gave you, you know, very broad that you can do. Just love that slap bass. Okay with me. That's why, to me, a lot of, like, you know, I think to the 16-bit era, right, specifically, like, you look at the Amiga, the Genesis, the Super Nintendo, stuff like that, some just amazing tracks came from that. And, again, what they were able to pull off of what they had, great. A lot of tracks in here. I feel like I should sit down and listen to more of these. That's what we're doing tonight, but... Yeah, exactly. The music on the Amiga is fantastic. I mean, there's so many great tracks on there, but it's really fun to put a mod tracker up there and just listen to, like Pro Tracker, and listen to stuff. It's just got a very unique sound because, I mean, the Amiga has its custom audio chip, right? And that's what made it so powerful for multimedia. And you can tell that with the Atari ST being more or less equivalent, but the sound chip in that is far and below less. I mean, it's its own unique thing, but it sounds very much like a video game bleeps and bloops by comparison. The Amiga having just fantastic music, so... Yeah, exactly. And the SID chip as well is very, very unique sound by itself. And it was, well, I think the SID was way overkill for the C64. I think it was a decision that, you know, people were questioning at the time, but it became legendary as a music device, right? So... Yeah, this is amazing. I used to listen to this kind of music playing MMOs back in the early 2000s. I would find, you know, saved versions of this kind of stuff for MP3s and listen to this kind of stuff. So many. Yeah, I can see that. And it's a good selection here too, but I think someone mentioned earlier too, I also had a small collection of MIDI tracks, often with, you know, re-recordings of, like, other video games, or above all popular songs, real songs, right? You know, Smells Like Teen Spirit and that kind of stuff on a MIDI rendition, because it was cool. It didn't take any space, like MP3s were coming out, but they were huge, and hard drives weren't that big. I mean, I had 3 maybe MP3s because it took so long to download them. I think I had Gangsta's Paradise and like 1 or 2 more basically on my computer for the longest time. I think I still have those very same MP3s in a folder actually. Yes, I did have Axel F, the X-Files. I think those kind of were the standard ones, right? Everyone had those, but yeah, definitely the X-Files intro. Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. I never had a Genesis either. I just got exposed to it through emulation pretty late, but the Mega Drive, as it were, was not super popular in Sweden. Nintendo had a chokehold on that market, so everyone had a Nintendo or a Super Nintendo. There were very few Sega consoles, at least where I grew up. And then everyone went right into computers and before an Amiga and whatever, so... Yeah, exactly. Fantastic soundtrack. Oh, nice. You don't have to spend a ton, you know? Fucking fly! You need feeling shred? That's pretty cool. This music is killer. I can fly. Hi. Damn, I think my flying days are coming to an end here. Bazooka. You run so fast, too. Yeah, dog mode I ran into. You have both the hand with the kind of god mode, right? You shoot lasers. And then a dog that lets you run around and fight everything. Started. True. Alright. As good as this is, it's really amazing and it's a good choice for MIDI. Let's check out something else here quick. Nice. Alright, what else did I put on the list here? A lot of different... let's play one of my favorites. This Tycoon. Transport Tycoon. It also has an amazing MIDI soundtrack. This kind of, you know, jazz or whatever is very well suited for this device. And that's the thing with this kind of thing is like how broad it is, and like, again, that's why I'm like, why was it so broadly supported? I mean, it's great. Yes, we have SimCity 2000 ready to go tonight as well. I do actually have the box for that one, but like, why did so many games support it? Yeah, that's right. What's his name? I forget now because he did the roller coaster tycoon. Dang it. Chris Sawyer, right? Chris Sawyer. This is my first big box game ever. Got this for Christmas in 1994, coupled with Doom 2. Yeah, Chris Sawyer coded this all by himself. Super efficient game. It's an amazing game, and this is one of those you can lose endless hours in. Excuse me. There's also a modern version, or OpenTTD, which is an open source version of this that has even more features. But no, these games, I spent so much time playing Transport Tycoon. I had the save going for like well over a year, I think. I just kept building my transport empire. But yeah, I love Transport Tycoon. We have streamed it as well. That's right, Microprose has kind of made a comeback now. They're releasing some newer versions of their older games, basically. For, you know, I think it was Carrier Command, make some flight sims, like they're coming back into it. But I doubt that they have the rights now to Getting words. They have the rights to the Tycoon series at this point, right? So, probably owned by Chris Sawyer still. Random new game. Oh yeah, that looks like me, totally. Little synthwave stuff going on there. Maybe light blue. Again, I spent way too much time playing this. And again, we did stream this before, but yeah, the jazzy soundtrack is just amazing. There's also a jukebox built in right here, so you can even pick. And the music for this is ingrained, so. So yeah, that's what he did. He built this engine, yeah, in old assembly, and then he adapted it and redesigned it to work for Roller Coaster Tycoon, which had several versions of it, right? But Transport Tycoon only has the base version and the deluxe version officially. I don't know, I love the little design of how everything looks. Great. Let's see, we need some industries here. Oil wells? Well, well, well. What's that? I must just not be seeing it. Where's that oil well? There it is. I need a refinery. Yellow. I don't see that. What we're looking for is oil production early on is a great way to make money. Kind of got to find both similar, or otherwise coal and the power plant are good too. No refinery. There's no oil refineries close to the place, so. Yeah, exactly. And just being able to pick the song and just mess around with it. Like, I think back to Command & Conquer, the first one, right? I played that so much. And just loved Frank Klepacki's industrial rock soundtrack. And be able to pick the song you wanted to for the mood. It's great. Alright, fine. We'll build a coal power plant to power station. There we go. That might be a good choice right there. Industry is a reliable way of making money in this game, so it's a good place to start. Yeah, like right here. Put it out by the mines. It just takes me right back as I spend so much time. And again, we did stream this game completely. Played it for, several hours straight, but the music is just freaking amazing. Here we are. Hard to see what's going on here, but we'll get there. And then we build a vehicle, we pick a train, expensive train, but... And this is how you build this, so you now have constructed your vehicle. Go here, and go here, and deliver coal to the coal power plant. I have some coal waiting already. Oh, look at that, 92 tons of coal waiting. I love this game, I still love it. It's just... seeing the little ant farm stuff going on with your transport empire budding slowly but surely. Sim Tower, you mean? Or what do you, is that what you mean? Or, guess I'm not sure what you mean with tower games. You know what, think so. I don't remember what the music is being used in Sim Tower, but I don't think so, actually. I'm gonna build a bus between two towns, just because I can. Not a very efficient way to do that, but... Ute Tower. Here, we'll build here. I spend so much time, and I spend so much time on the compact that I will never have playing this game. Little tunnel in there, look at that, fancy. I would like to put a bus station right here. Big band stuff, it's great. Here, now we're gonna add a bus here. From Channing Pool to Fort Barningwell. It's very British names here, yeah. This is Transport Tycoon Deluxe. And it's got a very big band jazz soundtrack, which is just great, so... It's interesting because I have the Mac version of U Tower because the PC version is just like notoriously broken, I think. You don't know. In this game, you manage just transport. Yeah, I think it's set to British, so they're just crazy like that. You don't affect the cities directly, but by bringing more business there, they grow. Transporting people back and forth, they grow. All right, Revenant, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you later. You can give ad campaigns and fund the cities, but you can't decide where things get built. And that can cause some problems in the later game because towns may have expanded so much, they don't want you to destroy your buildings or whatever, or destroy the buildings, so they won't let you do that. Oh, this is a good spot too. The farm there. Yeah, it sounds just fantastic. And again, I am very used to listening to this on the Sound Blaster, which sounds good too. I'm gonna do this because I have the possibility of accepts wood. Farm, so grain and livestock. Sawmill, so they need wood. But we'll build that later. I just want to build this here first. Of course, now I'm just getting into playing this game because I just get stuck in it so good easily. But again, it is just a great soundtrack. Gotta kind of keep an eye on your expansion cost here in the bidding because you run out of money. This game is ludicrously advanced from what it is, really, because there is just so much like you can do with switches in the game. Like, you can do a whole bunch of stuff around how your railway works, and that's why I think it still has longevity with the open port. Because people are designing some pretty insane railways. It's really complex for what it is, and that's why I think it's a game that you can keep playing for a long, long time. You can, I always build pretty basic, like, designs, but you can get some pretty freaking crazy stuff here. Multi-track things like that. We need livestock and grain. Give them orders to go. You can set multiple waypoints. Go there, pick that up, and take it to the factory. This one creates goods. Yeah, it's just crazy how good this game is. Need wood. I think there's a forest right up there. Yeah, this is a game I could just get lost in. And again, the open the open TTD port that's out is really good. It's basically this, except, you know, playing on a modern computer and fully supported. So that is a great option if you want to do that. What I do now is that since that one has 2 platforms, I can do that as my railway here. Not everything is worth investing so heavily in this that I have done here, because yeah, that I can't build another train now. I spent so much on the other stuff, so I gotta wait for money to come in. You gotta pay off your loan. So, you know, I might hit the end of the road there for this particular game, but it's a great soundtrack. Shuffle. I just spent so many hours playing this, and it's just fun to listen to a remastered soundtrack like this, you know? I played bass for a very short time, but... Wood trucks? I'll borrow some money. It's always a good solution. So I can get some money out of this here. There's wood waiting. Yeah, if they do a re-release, Petroglyph Games gets permission to do a release with a remaster of Red Alert 2 and also Tiberian Sun. That would be amazing. Go do it. You have my approval, Petroglyph. Do it. EA, come on. That would be just fantastic. Because, I mean, their first remaster, the Command & Conquer and also the Red Alert remaster bundle is just terrific. So if they're working on it, or they can do RA2, because I think a lot of people hold RA2 really high, and it's a very, very well-remembered game, and it's a fantastic play. Look at that, it's filled. We have wood. Now I think we're going to start getting goods here. Yeah, you have lots of goods, and cities accept goods, so... Listen to that song. Great. You can even decide here what kind of style you like. Old, new, easy street, or set up your own... Oops. Of course I broke that, but... There we go, here's all the tracks they have. Yeah, this soundtrack is amazing, and it sounds really good on here, too. I spent... And there's, what's happening here is the service subsidies. They give you extra money to invest or build a particular delivery. Sure was. Race driving and hard driving, right? Now, if I want to be crazy, I'll put a train station down here, and I will let this train also carry goods, because they could pick up goods here and take it down to the city. That's when you can get really, really crazy, right? I can let it go down here, drop off, and come back here, so that is an option. Because the city can do that, and you can make some pretty advanced stuff. But we can already see now we're actually making money now, and that's what you have to do. In this game, train is kind of king in that sense. You can build boats or harbors and transport cargo or passengers that way. You can build airplanes. But train is the bread and butter of this game, because vehicles are like buses and lorries, as they're called here. They don't give you that much money. So It's good to spread out, but the trains are the real moneymaker in this game. Because they can carry so much goods and they can carry it fast. So, yeah, I played most of this game when I was younger on my 486 33SX, and I ran the game great. I mean, not amazing, but I ran it great enough when I was a kid. And yeah, when there was a lot on the screen, it definitely slowed down. But just, that's what happens when you code something in assembly, right? Funk Central. That's true, yeah. Probably. I don't want to get to it's hard driving. It's great they included this, right? I can repay some of the money now. It's not hard to make enough money in this game. Again, you gotta just pounce on a few of these conveniently located industries. Once you get that going, like here, you can actually see how much money you're making on each vehicle that you have. In this case here, I'm already raking in cash. What? What jerk? What happens is building... The AI is not very smart. And it will build right there to try and get the passengers. That's not going to be very good for him, but whatever. Gonna play that long. Oh, train broke down. Oh, man. The deluxe version? Because, yeah, I do have, like, this is the original version. I'm not sure if my original floppies are in here, but I don't think they survived. Yeah, I do have my floppies in there, but they did not survive because they kept bringing it to friends' houses and stuff like that. So they're missing the dust covers on them and everything. They're pretty bad shape. I should really do that. I haven't played any of the different maps, really. But the deluxe version now, unfortunately, is pretty expensive to find because everyone wants that one. Here's how jam it was. That will be done with the Transport Tycoon, but great game, great Midi. Yep, that's a good one. So hopefully your friend's enjoying it too. But actually, something I forgot to show that I actually got included with this Midi device. I'll show you. The guy I got this from, I bought it from, was kind enough to throw in a couple of bonuses because this is stuff I did not have. So here's a box copy of Windows 2000 Professional, a little torn up, but it's not one that I had, and I ran Windows 2000 for quite a while, so I don't know. It's fun to have on the shelf. I ran this both from a professional perspective and also personal. So the other one, box copy of Windows Millennium, or at least the upgrade edition or the step up edition. Yeah. This Millennium, I haven't played with that in a long time. I've had a hankering. I want to revisit some of the OSs I haven't played with before in a long time. ME 2000, even 7 or Vista. I just haven't messed with those in such a long time. You don't need to, really. Yeah. And that's really nice of you, too, because if you have someone who really, really loves that kind of stuff, you know, it's great to pass it along to someone who's going to use it. So that's the fun part. I do not know, although where I worked for a while, we had just those massive binders, and I don't have them now because we didn't need them. By the time that we got to that point, we had just chucked them because we got them all from download. Because I mean, I've been in IT for a long time, and I've worked in many places where those huge subscription, like you got those massive binders at MSDN discs, you know, tons of them. By the time you can download everything from Volume License Center, it wasn't worth having the discs anymore because they were outdated by the time you needed to download them. Let's go into Windows because I want to show real quick those MIDIs playing as well, just for the heck of it, before we go to the next game. But we just chucked them, so many of them. The stuff we chucked at that company, because it was old, like old IBM computers, there was IBM monitors, the color ones. There were, you know, Model M's, Model F's, just tons of that stuff. And I wasn't into retro at that time. And I feel bad, but we just recycled most of it. I did get some servers and stuff from there because they just had pallets of customers that didn't need the stuff anymore. And then they would say, like, hey, let your admins go take a look at it, you know. So yeah, sad how much we threw out. So, yep, that's how we learn, is just to figure something else out like that to get it to work right. Oh, reboot, neat. I wonder if it doesn't like that I've disabled the apparel and the this is Windows 95 has been working fine. I know there's an error for the registry there, so. Oh yeah, well there you go. Kind of like a give and take kind of stuff, and that's great. When you can trade stuff back and forth. We'll see, because Windows 95 is booted flawlessly on this machine for years now. So the fact that it just crashed now, it might be random. Otherwise, we may have to go back into BIOS and re-enable the parallel and serial port, I guess. I'm not sure why that would affect anything, but it's Windows 95. This is kind of, it's what it is at that point. Yep. All right. Well, let's go back and re-enable them, because I know that registry error there, but the machine has never crashed going into Windows 95 before. So maybe we finally hit the limit. We'll re-enable them and see. Yeah, there's that part. It does not always play nice with driver stuff, right? So, oh, it auto-disabled it. We'll leave it like, I don't want 7 now. There's 7 on all of them. Okay. See what happens. Yeah, plug and play is only a suggestion, I suppose. But yeah, this machine has worked no problem for a long time. So, nice. It's always fun to pass stuff around. And that's something I enjoy a lot too. Is like when I covered that huge like gateway tower, right? When I was done with it, I just didn't have room for it, nor did I need it, because it kind of overlapped with the machines that I already have, right? It wasn't worth keeping. I passed it on to a local person here who did not have a machine like that and was fond or nostalgic for that era. I'm like, here you go. Like, I could cover the machine on my channel and pass it on, and that's a good feeling. So, well, we'll see here now. I haven't had this problem before, but it could be PNP that's causing the issue. We'll see. Now, I know there's a register error here, and that's been going on for a long time. So, but if it's enough now to crash the whole computer, or not. Find out. Again, as Windows 95, deal with PMPs. There we go. First try. So yeah, apparently, I'm gonna have to guess that Windows 95 didn't like that we ripped those things out before disabling them or uninstalling them. We'll see. Thinking about it. Hey. There we go. Like nothing ever happened. Yep, first try. Keyboard's still locked up though, but that's fine. I don't think I need it. Network working? Initialized? Yeah, there we go. For those who are joining us, I'm not sure if you have joined before Feeling Shred, but I have a retro network with a NAS basically, where I can get anything I need here. But I wanted to show a few of these that as they're playing, because right now we have it set inside of Windows here to use the external MIDI port. You go in here, you use it, well, literally external MIDI port, right? Versus the creative built-in one. And then when you play stuff, it actually uses, like we can do, yeah. There's this one again, the... like we listened to earlier, which is the Afterburner MIDI soundtrack. Fantastic. But I think this one was composed specifically for the sound canvas. And then again, you know that it's going to sound good, basically. Some of these were not. So that's kind of what I wanted to show. I'm going to put my aviators on for this. There's other ones for, here's another one from Afterburner. This is the one that I just already see like the crazy flipping. I never was very good at Afterburner. I just feel like it just flies so fast and it's hard to depth gauge and everything. But the music is iconic. It's fantastic. Slap bass galore. There you go. It does. It's music that pumps you, amps you up. I think this one also is from... There we go, yeah. And then we get things like... here's someone who then recorded Airwolf. I just grabbed this off a site, right? And just... I mean, it sounds fine enough. But it's like... I don't want to fault the artist, but it's like, it's just... A lot of these, like... I had so many of these midis that were from a movie theme or something. And they just sound... Yeah. I do have that one-stop file right here, so if you'll listen to that. Don't know if it comes with that or not, but I have it in a folder anyway, so there you go. I do have some mod trackers here too. Yeah, those are just amazing. I love those. But it's something different. I think it's just also because a lot of this MIDI stuff composed like in the 90s are so like 90s. Just amazing. Sounds really good on this device. It does make me want to get an actual SC55. I think that that might be my next retro purchase. I might build up to get either a Yamaha device or maybe an actual SC55. I'm not sure. We'll see. But at the very least, an Yamaha MU50 or 80, I feel like is going to be my next like saved up retro purchase because I've got the MIDI bug now. I got it bad. And while I do enjoy the MT32, or at least from emulation, it feels like that might be an easier one to emulate accurately. Yeah, that's true. So is that the ulti tier? Is like an MT32, SC55, SC88, an MU50, an MU80, and like all of those? Like a 5 stack or whatever. I know LGR has that huge MIDI mountain, right? I know there's some of them that are less featured that still give you the same sound, right? So it should be, as far as I know, the MT200 is identical to the SC55 on the features, on the sound. Should be, but I could be wrong. There's not a ton of coverage on this one because it is designed to be a music production device, not like a gaming one primarily. So but to my knowledge, it should sound the same as an SC55, but I also don't have an SC55 sitting right here to compare. So we listened to Airwolf, and now I want to listen to some that don't sound that good on here, which is like, here is Flame Mammoth from Mega Man X. And someone just made it into MIDI, and it probably sounds better on Sound Blaster MIDI than it is just with the Sound Canvas, so... And it's just this, it doesn't work for it. It doesn't work very well at all. Likewise, we have Storm Eagle here. Similar deal there. It sounds all right, but it just doesn't work better. But this works better. And Mega Man X has fantastic music, really. Great music. And interesting enough, the actual Mega Man X does have MIDI music, I believe, on PC, which we have tried that actually, I think, so. Well, this one sounds good, but again, it depends on how the composer actually put it together, right? So, oh, this one sounds really good, actually. I grabbed a few. I didn't have time to grab a whole bunch, but I found a website that basically has MIDI versions of tons of songs, of game soundtracks. Tons and tons, so... There's Spark Mandrill, which... It feels like the instrumentation doesn't match here very well, and I have a feeling, again, that was not designed for the SC55, so... Yeah, X1 is fantastic. My favorite games for sure. It works alright, but you can tell the bass instrumentation there is not... The rhythm guitar doesn't sound good, so... One that does sound good... Pretty good. Chemical Plant Zone. Some of those games get hard. My goodness. X4 is one I think I can manage. I did beat it at one point. It will take me a long time to get to that again. Then you get to... Once you get to X6, then it's just... All bets are off. I don't think I've ever beaten that one, or will I ever beat it, so... It might be, yeah. I just grabbed it from that site, so it might be the original rip, but it holds up really well. Yeah, I'm too old and tired to fight my way through a difficult platformer. I just have low tolerance for frustration, I guess. So if I get frustrated playing a game, I'm just going to stop playing because it's not fun. I have too little time to enjoy gaming to sit there and be frustrated. There's very few games I want to throw myself at over and over. Like Metroid Dread, for example, I felt like the failure was built in there, and I was able to kind of grind through in some hard spots and get through it and beat that game because I enjoy the gameplay so much otherwise. Not a lot of games that will do that. Right here sounds really good, so... Don't have any games installed here with MIDI music in the... all in Doscember after all, so... That's a good question. Does SimTower use MIDI music? Find out. I don't know if it does. It doesn't really have any music at all, does it? It's just sound effects. There, I can load our mega tower that we have. Yeah. I don't think there's any music in this game, is there? Remember, guys, when we streamed this, like a year ago or something, I had to disable the sound effects because people are going nuts by all the elevator sounds. You know, I'm not sure, but again, U-Tower, to my knowledge, does not run very well on Windows at all. It is a Mac first game. I think both SimTower and Ute were developed for Mac, so... yeah, I don't think I have any other games right here. We could try Warcraft 2, or I have to go into the configuration. I think it just uses CD audio. Or, go into configuration for Warcraft 2. Program. Right, you can't, War 2, of course, that is a DOS game more than anything, but run setup from here. Music setup. Support the graphics ultrasound too. I need to check that out at some point here. Generic OPL 3. General MIDI. Manual set 330. Thank you. Oh, yeah. I can't control it, so I don't know what it's... I think it did a fallback. It's not really working. The volume does nothing. It might just not work inside of Windows. Your sound card works by sound hardware initialized. We might just try it in DOS instead, but we can fire up Final Fantasy VII because I don't know that if I have the... Hang on, I get the box for it. This is the European non-trapezoid box, by the way, so... Yeah, this is how I played Final Fantasy VII, was on the PC. I did not play it on PlayStation. I didn't have one PlayStation, so... Yeah, if you were wondering, behind me here is my entire collection of big box games here. Let me do this. I'll switch to the action cams. You can see it here, but... We pan over here... It does end over there, I promise. But yeah, I have amassed quite a bit of big box games after a while, so... Camera. Back to the MIDI cam. So let's try this, because I'm not sure this the Final Fantasy VII have default built-in voodoo support. I don't remember. You have to... There's a configuration utility, isn't there? .3D. We have the game port. Wavetable MIDI. Could be correct, but let's see. Where is that under? Oh, lordy lord. There we go. Final Fantasy VII, FF7 configuration. There we go. Click. Or the voodoo engaging. All the stuff is starting here now. Woo! Graphics. Righteous 3D. All right. Yeah, we got 640 by 480. Full screen. Sound. MIDI. This is where we're going to change this to nothing. There's no way to put the general MIDI. Oh. There, MIDI out. There we go. Oh, that works. Nice. So, we have MIDI out, and then Voodoo graphics. This is how I played Final Fantasy VII, was using virtually, well, I probably played it on P2 300 with my Voodoo 1 card. That's how I played Final Fantasy VII, which is whatever sound I had at the time, I don't remember. But if it actually starts here, reading the CD. This is the video playback, so. Memories come flooding back here. We have pretty bad. The scaling is way off here. When you see the jail bars, I'm not sure if you saw that's on the screen. On the capture, it means that the face is off and the capture completely, and then you get jail bars. So, yep, this is the prelude with the general MIDI. This is a good one to play in this setup then. I remember feeling very smug about the people that I knew were playing this game on PlayStation, including my wife at the time. Well, not wife at the time, but when she played this game, she played it on PlayStation like many people, but I played it on PC, and being able to use 3D acceleration, it looks really good and it runs very well. So then when I saw it on PlayStation, I'm like, whoa, my goodness, it is so, like, choppy. To me, it always ran so good, and then in the scenes that it uses full 3D acceleration, a lot of the minigames or the racing stuff, they run too fast. If you disable, there's a setting, I think, to disable the limiter, and it runs so fast that you can't even play it. So, Let's sit back and enjoy the demonetization, because I'm playing something very copyrighted. That's fine, I never monetize my streams, it's not worth it, so... Bloop. Oh, that's right, there we go. I have a save? I have a save, alright. Friend reactor, sweet. Oh, God. God, no. I made a portable choice. I forgot the menu button. There. I just wanted to start over. I was going to start from the beginning instead of hopping. Yeah, I was moving a numpad instead of hopping right into the horribleness as the running away in that scene, because I don't want to listen to that alert or alarm there. That's the problem. I didn't know what the buttons were there. Go back to normal. Yeah, there's the keyboard setup for this is just pretty random. I can't. I think you can skip. There we go. New game. There we go. We'll run with it. I don't want to mess with it too much because it will mess with the other stuff. Yeah, you might be able to, but I got used to playing on a keyboard too, because then for me, the Final Fantasy VII experience was I was living in an apartment with a couple of roommates in high school, because my high school was so far away from where my home was that I ended up sharing an apartment then, and I would basically after school come home, do my schoolwork, and then, you know, eat, and then the rest of the evening I would spend just doing, for a long time, Final Fantasy VII on my PC, and I played through the entire game in that apartment, basically, like that. It's like one of those things you have, like, a specific memory of, right, around a game, or what you were doing, or how you were playing it. And that is ingrained in my brain for all eternity now, right, so... Yeah, this is a pre-recorded video, or pre-rendered, right? There's no MIDI here or anything, it's just a video file, so... It was... Yeah, they really did. It is a great port. I'll play through the whole game this way, and I had a great time. It was a great experience. I remember just getting really invested in the story. I think a lot of people kind of found, you know, the Eastern style RPG, or JRPG as commonly called, but that was the one that I first got hooked on. Because I didn't really play any of the Final Fantasies before that. I didn't really play any of the RPGs like that. Thanks. 26 years. Look at that rendering there. Bye. Yeah, I think we're good there. It's sharp now. Really weird resolutions going on here, so... 0 is run. Yeah. Yeah, and I played this on a P2 300, but here the 3D acceleration looks really good. It's really, like, crisp. Look at the text. Whammo. And it certainly ran better on that P2 than it does here, but I mean, runs Not as good or better than the, yeah, we do have real GS MIDI now. Level up. Yeah, it's a really, really solid port. I remember while thinking the text was, yeah, this is like really sharp. And I think that this is all 3D accelerated right now because those characters, like, it's using a 3D effects mode, I think, the entire time. That might be why the resolution is so wonky right now. I am an adult. I'm very mature. Yeah, I do stream in 1440p, so you can go all the way up to that if you want, but mostly to 1440p gives you a higher encoder on YouTube, and that increases quality quite a bit, so... Yeah, there's a lot of, I notice people in, oops. Yeah, I did that too a lot. Oh, I just see a CD spinning out. Oh, I was starting a movie. Look at that. Superimposed there. It's the thing too. I didn't have PS1 really at all, so I did play a lot of PS1 games on emulator. Oh, that's the pro move there. I always thought this looked so cool. The magics. Every time I got a new like summon, it was like an event to see what it looked like, you know. I still do need to play the remake. We do have it, and my wife and I, she would play Final Fantasy VII a ton as well. You know, got a nice around and all the final boss weapons and everything I did too, but I do want to play the remake fully, so. Bahamut Zero, yeah. The thing with Knights of the Round, you equip that, so it led the entirety of Knights of the Round Table coming out and attacking the target, but then you had the mimic materia that let you do the double effect. So you had to sit there for like, it was super powerful, but it took like, my goodness, it took a long time. Listen to this. So this is the MIDI one on GS. Is this the actual soundtrack that they used on the PlayStation? Or was that like full Red Book orchestral? Because it sounds really similar, doesn't it? I mean, maybe it's just my mind, but it sure sounds pretty close to the actual PlayStation sound. It may not have aged super gracefully now, but it is a really good. Oh, so it's just using whatever MIDI rendition that the PlayStation did then? Yeah, I really do that too. Open the door. Bloop. it just looks a lot better than the PlayStation 1, because, I mean, again, you have 3D acceleration and the whole shebang here. Right now, explore. Ooh, yeah, the keyboard controls are not ideal, but they do work. Should really try it on the XG card. Yeah, this came out in 97, I think, right? At least the box says 97, 98. The biggest game ever, a heck of an achievement, a game that everyone should own. Oh. Boom. Switch on. Power on. Yeah, I was thinking they did compose it specifically for the XG synth stuff, right? So. And it's just funny because. Whoop. There goes the music. What? That's 940. I am super mature, and it's super funny, too. Yeah, I do really want to play a remake. I really, really should. I mean, I love this game. I played it through and did all the stuff you could, and I ran around grinding and got all the chocobos, and I did it all, so... That's right, I do have a 724 with the built-in XG on it, so... I should try it. Gun arm, yeah. I love that the gun changes design, too, when he gets a new one, right, so... It was quite a production. I mean, I think this was a top-tier game when it came out. It was a big deal, and it was very, very popular. Everyone I knew who liked anything remotely to this kind of game played it, so... But yeah, definitely ran smoother on my P2 300. I had the Buddha 1 card in there. That. Okay. I can look and see. I don't think I've ever done it, but yeah, we have the Autobia 64, of course, which can load it up. Just to, like, we're trying all these games. I need to start playing them. We're not going to play this too long, but... wanted to hear what it sounds like. Push OK to grab and follow the ladder. What a thing that they were able to do a remake. People were clamoring for it for so long, and then there's a remake of Final Fantasy VII. It's like, if you would have talked about that a few years ago, it would have seemed ridiculous, but here we are, you know? That was really good on the Roland anyway. It was a generational shift. PS1, I feel like, you know, it was truly next gen at the time. System took the world by storm, and it, you know, made Tony from like neat to like huge. Materia. I guess I don't have the... set the bomb. hang on, I'm just gonna have a little PTSD first. Huh? Wrong party. It feels very serious doing that. Nope. Now we're basically where the save was. Boss fight. Sort of. Yeah, it looks a lot smoother running on the righteous 3D here now, but keep saying it, but yeah, I did play it on the P2300 and that made a big difference in the smoothness because it lets the Voodoo 1 breathe more. Don't sting me, bro. Ow. We got a limit break. There we go. Now I got the cool stuff. That makes it fun to re-explore a lot of these games, you know, whatever. No, it's not. It's exactly what you're seeing is what I'm seeing too, because, you know, I'll play on a CRT here, but it is not running smooth at all. Hold it. Yeah, and the Voodoo 1 is like, it's stretched here, obviously. It's just, you know... Yeah, I think so. It's just, the Voodoo's not allowed to breathe as much as it can, and also this game is fairly advanced for what this is. Quick fart, be careful! Gonna counterattack with his laser! Keep hitting it! Got it. Laser. Pew, pew, pew. Big laser. Spark limit break. Oh, you gotta get it now. Stop lasering me, bro. Already limit break. Oh, we got limit breaks all over the place. Flash it big. Yay. Shoot it. Oh, come on. No more tail lasers. Big shot. Oh, come on. They're gonna die now, aren't they? Oh, dead. Game over. Alright. I will. I mean, 512 is the better spot for it, but it will do 640, but not well. But and there ends Cloud's, or sorry, Party's quest. There were no survivors. I think it unceremoniously drops you to the main menu. I should have healed more, but we're not going to play it too long. I just wanted to get further than I thought it would. And back to the title menu. And you... I'll just Alt F for it. Yep, there were no survivors. Sorry. Bud died. Let's hop back in DOS and play some more... games there. I just wanted to show those settings there quick, so... Ta-da! Yeah, I should pop that XG 724 card in there at some point. It'll be fun to experiment with that and see what it sounds like. And this, again, makes me want to get more MIDI devices. That's the thing, right? Having the option, because some games sound really good with certain devices, so... yeah, they are, and that's what's fun. It's like, do I sit down and, like, actually play these games often? Not really. I don't sit down, like, and just, like, play, but I do end up hopping around a lot. If I'm like, you know, I want to do computing like 1995, and I'll sit down and mess with a computer like this and play a few games or whatever, and that's a good time. Fun to live back to that. I actually feel likewise, and what I did was that I actually created a local retro computer group for my hometown here, for my town, and managed to gather a few people. We're up to 30 people now. I think we only had a couple of gatherings. Not that many people come yet. Meet for coffee and stuff, but that's actually one of the guys there I bought this device from, and that's a great way to make connections. So, but we all went to a modern LAN party not too long ago. Some of you already know that, but and brought a whole bunch of retro computers and played retro games all night. It was a lot of fun. So, okay, let's see. Let's go to one that I installed that I never ever tried. I think is Hocus Pocus. I know that one supposedly has really good on canvas support. Yep, 330 sound effects, Sound Blaster, and there we go. Not much to set, but supposedly this one is what? It is not invalid in Blaster. This doesn't like the parameter I have in there. Oh, we know sound canvas. So it's trying to use that, but if I do none, it's probably going to work, right? We'll figure out the audio, but I just want to hear the music for starters. Yep, we got it. That's great. It's extremely like Amiga. Really good. Oh yeah, very Amiga. My goodness. It reminds me of PP Hammer. Like a lot. The game looks similar too. I wonder if it's PC speaker. Yes. Oh, it sounds horrendous out here because take that, zap, 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 zap. It really does. It's great. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing without sound effects. This PC speaker, and it sounds horrendous because the PC speaker is so loud, and this thing is just like chirping. Harry Potter and the bajillion diamonds. Lava! Why did it have to be lava? Okay, I think Blaster is set to T6 here, so we could change it to T5. I think it has to do with the version of Sound Blaster tries to emulate, right? Yeah, we have it set to T6, I think, but it probably doesn't like one of the values in there. Yeah, and that's, I think, something that a lot of the Apogee games feels like they have, like, if the gravity is like, wham, just drops you immediately. Sorry you guys aren't getting sound effects right now, but again, it is just grating. The music is awesome. Pew, pew, pew. Oh, I got all the crystals. I forgot to collect the other stuff. That main menu music is great. Slap bass makes everything better. It's scientifically proven. It's just the same music again, though. I understand why the games want to use like auto configuration, but much better if you can set that yourself, right? I gotta seen as a kid, this is a great platformer to play. I would definitely have gotten into this. Maybe with a gamepad, though. Sound effects such as speaker are just gnarly. But the music is great. Getting into this now. Yeah, I'm not sure when this came out, but yeah, sounds about right. Hope you have found the secret treasure room containing the golden goblets. You should have found it by now. Fine. Let's take all your stuff. These speakers just bloop, 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 bloop. Just it'd be nice to hear different music, but it sounds good, but same one over and over again now. Good chill. Feels very much like a game of its era. There's a reason why this, like, apprentice is just taking all the gold in the... Oh, goodness. Whoops. Oh, lava. It happened. Take a drink. Oop. Yeah, the gravity is just like, woof. Welcome back, Bruce. I actually did go ahead and buy the Steam Deck OLED, so I'm excited for that. Played my regular one enough that it just felt justified, so. We haven't played Doom yet, have we? This will be sacrilegious to do a stream like this without playing Doom. But this is a good choice, too. Bet you guys won't get to listen to the god-awful sound. But again, what prompted them to, like... I mean, did a lot of people, like, not have, like, Sound Blaster and just have an external MIDI, so... Whee! Yeah, it does. It just, for some reason, is airing out. So... No bonus. Low accuracy. Well, fine. Yeah, when we went to the settings, right, it just aired out, so... Ooh. Ah! I can shoot up, too. Music is great here. go back to the game options. Sound is not on. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I've been playing Hades right now on my LED Steam Deck, so we're gonna go back to the try the this music is really good. It's great. But yeah, it's weird to set up. Go to Sound Blaster. Focus. Invalid parameters in Blaster. So it doesn't like something. I'm not sure if it doesn't like the E620 or the T6. Something like that. Anyway, really good sound on that one for sure. I did turn a couple other ones. There's one apparently that everyone was raving about was Stone Keep, but let's do Doom first quick because we need to do E1M1. I mean, it's just yeah, that seems like the perfect thing. Run a 40 or 50, 40 or 45 and then running a 90 with a native seems like an absolute perfect one. So yep. Doom. We're Doom. Oh, that's loud. Gotta. Doom. The quintessential Roland. And again, I think to believe the game was composed on an SC55, the music, so this is very authentic. A legendary first level. Probably. I'm assuming, well, what you can do with the Doom RTX specifically is that the PT Boom or is it PR Doom, I can't remember, they have the sound for this, the whole thing, in OGG files. You can drop them in a folder, and yes, you can play with this music then. So yeah, Doom RTX with this is very much possible. I noticed here in the capture maybe too, it's just, the game seems a little bright. But there's no brightness setting in this game, I think, so. It might. The only thing I've seen is that you drop the files. Open the door. Give me my shotgun. I'm finally playing Doom 2016. I haven't gotten that far in it yet. Well, I've just got the hell, but what a adrenaline rush that game is once you get going. I've known for a long time. I'm just way behind the curve on that one. Oh, okay. It's funny because my first, like, I was getting a computer, but then before I got a computer, I got 2 big box games. One, we went to the store, and my mom asked me which one I want for Christmas, and I said Transfer Tycoon because it looked great, and then that's what they got. My brother bought me Doom 2, which I have the box for as well, and I played that one a lot too, so. Don't want to leave the music, but yeah, it's really bright for some reason. And I don't think there's any brightness sliders here. Not very scary. But yeah, sounds great. Yeah, actually, what made that coalesce was that I got a new monitor here for my main PC that it goes 144 hertz and it's ultra wide. So being able to play Doom 2016 with a higher refresh rate was an experience. So. Great music too. And it's Doom. We won't stay too long in Doom. Everyone knows Doom, but we have to do. Game. I mean, really. I wasn't around for like in the PC space when this game launched, or like when the big hoopla about it was, right? I can only imagine. For some of you are. That is true. There's that part. But it should be darker, but there's no gamma settings here in the... I mean, this is in DOS, right? So, in my capture, I would say, but it's also bright on our CRT. Oh, aha. Thank you very much. That's exactly right. I don't know why that got pressed. That was clearly set pretty high, so... Well, TIL. I had no clue, but thank you very much. That's better. Now it's moodier. Where it came from, I have a red keycard now. Oh, hi. A shotgun now. It just had such a like a layer to this game, you know? Where is it? Don't remember. Stop shooting me, you jerk. Oh, hi. Bye. Sound effect is horrifying. Who's shooting me? The secret here, I can't remember. Right here, isn't it? Why can't I remember where the secret is here? Chainsaw. I feel like my Doom creds aren't up here to speed now. I could have sworn it was right here. Memory must be failing me, I guess. Yeah, it really is just... It just was a first for so many things. Maze. Yeah, there's that part. Hit scanner is not fun. Fine, forget it. Sounds really, really good on this, but you can tell, again, when something was designed for it, right? It made sense. And it's just, it goes to show that, like, all these sound devices have their place, but, like, if you're playing DOS games of this era, having the Yamaha or, you know, or this or whatever, you know, equivalent, it's a great addition to your setup, so... Now the music goes more creepy and like nuanced, so I'm not sure I have Tyrion on here. There's one I wanted to try, which is Lost Vikings. I think that, oh, that's right. I want to try Stonekeep first because that was specifically one I downloaded and burned and a whole bunch of stuff, and supposedly it's going to be one of the better MIDI soundtracks. I want to try that one real quick too. I know we're kind of running low on time here too, but I wanted to give that one a shot. The Stonekeep. Keep should already be set up. We'll double check. Yeah. Test music card. Ominous. I have never played this one, I think. And this is one of those, like, Parallax software, and I think it uses the Descent engine, doesn't it? Register later. We have enough memory? We have enough memory? Thinking about it. CD. Come on. You can do it. Come on, do it now. Hey, alright. This is pre-recorded video. No MIDI going on here. Pew. Freaking DOS, dude. Just the DOS and CRT. The resolution switches all the flipping time. just the way that was, you know? Didn't matter on the CRT. It would just auto-adjust, adapt. We get it, Interplay. You're epic. Super epic. Some say the most epic. What resolution is supposed to be here, but probably this.
Thanks, my lady.
Oh, fancy. Thank you very much.
Care for one, would you? Might it be this one? Perhaps it's this one.
Thanks. Ha! I think she loves me. Oh, terrible dragon, I slay thee in the name of fair maiden Elizabeth.
If I remember right, Stonekeep was one of those games that didn't, like... It promised a lot, but didn't really deliver. It's got a cool box, though. Go get it, but... Dun, 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 dun. Okay, great. Story, but I want to get into the MIDI stuff. That's what I'm here for.
Take these artifacts
Like right now.
to aid your quest. The mystic mirror of Afri will aid your personal vision. And Aquila's scroll will store whatever you may find.
Cool story, bro. Take that, rock. I didn't realize this was like a dungeon crawler. I think I was thinking of Descent to Undermountain.
Beware Kulkum's minions. Arm yourself quickly.
What if you stop
Find
talking?
stairs leading down.
Okay, dude, I get it. You can punch things. You gonna go? You gonna go, Sprite? YOLO. Oh, hi. Hello?
Lost one, is this the best you can do? This mortal is
Shadow
not worth
King.
my time.
Kulkum, do not gloat so soon.
Welcome.
My champion will defeat you.
Is this Sprite helping me, Shodan? It sounds like Shodan. Wouldn't surprise me if it's the same voice actress. Well, he has no arms, so it checks out.
You are foolish to put your trust into this one, Thera. I will show you that you should not believe in your foolish mortals.
I'm a little surprised at the production quality here. It's pretty impressive for what it is here. A lot of multimedia depth going on here.
Destiny will not save you.
Yeah. Got any more of them MIDI tracks there? That's what I wanted to hear.
Tread lightly unto them, for my wrath is legion.
Yep, got it. You're bad. I'll still leave you to your own devices, though. Very impressive, like full screen. Punch an ant. For a weapon. Oh. Great. And there ends the quest. Wow.
Take
Yep. I feel like they're trying really hard to be like interactive in the way it looks, but yeah. The music has just kind of hung itself here now.
Beware, Kulkum. Find the stairs leading down.
There we go. First try. Yeah, it looks like, you know, they took a lot of care in making the presentation as cool as possible, but it feels very clunky. Hi. Yeah, I heard you.
Lost one is the
Any weapons? Punching ants? Yeah, I think I did. I do love Cinema Sims. Narration. More ants? You got any more ants I can punch? Creepy. Also punching him to death, because I'm a man. A rock. Throw it at the ant. Come here. Oh, yeah. You weren't expecting rock, did you? I have the latest in ant fighting technology. That's where that guy was. He's gonna kill me, isn't he? He's pretty buff dude there. One game we should stream that I haven't yet is the Daggerfall. We really should bring my rock with me. Throw that guy. Or not. Yeah, it's like, there are many games from this time period where they're like, yeah, it needs to be like, interactive and like, intuitive, and we don't need to have any buttons or interface. It's just going to be up to the player to figure it out. Good luck, player. Yeah, just wailing on there. Oh, I threw my rock at it. It didn't work, so I don't know. I'm out of ideas now. I mean, it clearly takes inspiration heavily. Heavily from, your dungeon crawler stuff, the 80s and 90s, whatever, but just with more ant punching, I guess. The music is very good. And that was the tough ant, I guess. Got more rock. What's here? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm collecting stones now. Is that the guy? It's not a... It's not a, like, a horrible thing to have buttons in your interface. It's okay, developers. You don't have to be scared of it. It's not, like, immersive. It's just terrible. Oh, I get it. So now my... My left hand is my rock throwing now. My right is punching. Better put my rocks back in my bag. Where did my rocks go? Got more rocks. I'm rocking, as it were. Well, as I like get invested in this kind of jank a little bit because of like, yeah, this is where the guy was. This then. Oh, he ate that. Is that a good choice, dude? You may be alright right now, but you're gonna have a bad time about 30 minutes here. Oh crap. Oh, jeez. My rocks, they do nothing. Run. Oh, crap. Well, the music is very good. Just plays in Yakety Sack right now, too. Whew. Good, I found an ant. I can fight that. Lost all my rocks, though. Hmm. Oh. He ate that. Wait, what is it with those dungeon crawlers back in the era that were just like, they were just brutal. Many of them were just on purpose, just to be, as I guess they're trying to be as true as possible to soul is chilled at the thought of facing more creatures of shadow. I didn't want to try Lost Vikings though. Lost V, and I think, if I remember right, I don't have memory. So yeah. We're gonna reboot, and we're gonna boot without CD-ROM and see if that helps. That should give us quite a bit of memory back. So, yeah, that's the game. And sometimes it's fun to work through that kind of jank, That's what I'm thinking too, yeah. Something is missing here. Although the end punching and rock throwing was quite engaging. So, something seems off. Feels like I should find a weapon, but I did find the bag. It's just sort of like, oh, this bag will work great for my throwing rocks. It feels so specific, you know. How much memory do I have now? Put out the CD. There you go. That should be enough. Games, CD, lost the Vic. Vic, where did he go? Oh, yeah. But it's like, you can tell, like, we want to have all this... all these design ideas and all the things in there. But it doesn't always work out. The solutions are way wonky. It's not very good right now, but I don't think I'm gonna mess with the settings now. This is gonna look a little off, but here we are. Apparently, it's also the French version. Je m'appelle Eric Le Baudin. No. LMX? Okay, how do you jump? There we go. I think the music is a little off. There we go. I'm so used to... I only played this on Super Nintendo, really. Let me at him. Yeah, that switches character, but what's the use button? It's S. Does that make sense? Oh, just a nice guy. Yeah, there's lots of traps. I mean, it's a puzzle game, right? So... the music is good, though. I don't know the bow. It does make use of the sound here pretty well, but I wonder if it's... was it composed of this in mind? Because, I mean, to me, the Super Nintendo one is the one that's ingrained in my brain, because I played this game quite a bit on Super Nintendo, but... okay, now I gotta find the button to shoot the arrow. D. Boop. Probably gotta use the bombs here for... Trying to find the button to use the items. Times when they had random keyboard combinations. Okay, that selected it. Oh. We gotta find a generator for that, I think, right? Yeah. There we go. A little more funk to it, though. This one probably sounds great on Genesis. I think that this is ported to Genesis too, right? It's a fun puzzle game. Come on. Gravity, do your thing. Oh. Oh. About to die. Gotta use the guy here. We'll make it through this level and then we'll see if there's any last requests for other games. But yeah, there's of course an endless amount of games like this to try, so. Otherwise, the game that I think of too is Rock and Roll Racing, because that's another one that from the digital synapse time period. This is a pretty long game too. I remember, I don't think I finished it on Super Nintendo. I played it for quite a while, and there was a lot of levels in this, and it's like a puzzle platformer, right? Button doing it? Whee! Hooray! One of them dies, you see. Well, oh, it's just with the level, so. How do you exit the game? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's like a hanging bug going on there with this, the note. I don't know if we go into another game. We'll get it. Yeah, there we go. Get rid of it. Again, with DOS and all these random resolutions and everything. Yeah, this one sounds pretty good too, I think. One that was also, I assume, composed with the SC55 in mind, so. Or game, though. I tested, for some reason, I think it's because I have this loaded on my 486. Become the one I test like sound cards and like stuff like that on. So this music is kind of ingrained in my brain, having this quite a bit during random testing, so. But alright, we can maybe check out one small game here before we pack it in for tonight. I did put a lot. I wanted to see Death Strike. It's a bummer, can't get that to work, but we do have, of course, like Dark Forces, System Shock, actually. Curious to see if Install. Oh, great. Sure, that one. Huh. That's neat. Okay, never mind. Not that one then. What else did I put? Oh, sorry, one we didn't check out, of course. SimCity 2000. We'll finish with that quick because that is also a fine. Let me put the CD in. Be that like that. Oh, never mind. It booted anyway. All the resolution changes here. There we go. Yeah, SimCity 2000 has a great MIDI soundtrack as well. I think a lot of people are gonna recognize it, but it sounds really good. Articulating splines. You can tell they composed this for this device or something equivalent, and then backported it to all the other stuff. So we're not going to actually play SimCity 2000 here, but I just want to listen to some of the music. Some of the music in SimCity 2000 is kind of melancholy and a little sad in that sense. I think that was on purpose. They wanted to have it put an ominous sound to it. Not this one though, but it's probably one that sounds great on an MT32 as well, but it's a good choice for this. I think you have to turn off music and turn it on again to switch. I say it's kind of like a sad soundtrack and they bring out this kind of stuff. But it's like rediscovering the classics, you know. I think I find one of the tracks that I do. Yeah, these are kind of like sad and but there we go. Work here as mayor is done. What a game. We have streamed this before as well. SimCity 2000. What a game. I got stuck into this real bad. I had a friend who came over with a single floppy, the whole game on it. I played. This is the limited edition, or not limited, but the special edition with the collector's CD-ROM version. It has all the expansions included. The silver box. I gotta build some power lines. Apparently, if I understand, I think that was based on, well, of course I just learned because Eldra had a great video on this here recently. I think he said it was Will Wright saying just and they were going to use it as a temporary thing, but kept it in the game. So it just lines up so well. But yeah, here we have it. We'll go back to the MIDI cam one last time here and take a look. But fun device, much fun to be had. Maybe we'll yeah, no, we'll do that. I keep going forever on this MIDI devices, but it's a really fun one to have, and expect to see it for sure in more streams in the future as well with DOS and whatnot. But I am very tempted now to pick up more MIDI devices for sure. Yamaha one, maybe the MT32, we'll see. But I think I'm going to call it there. It's already past midnight here where I am. Appreciate everyone hanging out. It's been a lot of people hanging out for a long time here now, so appreciate it a lot, and have a good MIDI weekend. Play some games with MIDI, why not? Maybe that's Stonekeep. You can throw rocks at ants. So yeah, good stream. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. We'll hopefully see everyone next week. Otherwise, have a good weekend, and have fun with retro stuff. So, good night.